Alrighty, fellow Deathbats, Lady Deathbats, fellow gamers, and lady gamers. Welcome back to the Deathbat Nation. In this video, I just kind of wanted to review the full album of Dark Horse by Zachary Baker. Now, we all know Zachary Baker as Zachy Vengeance from Avenged Sevenfold, but he is doing a side project outside of Avenged Sevenfold, and he names himself Zachary Baker over there now. So, but we're gonna get into the album and what I think about it here, and you know, just how I feel overall about it. And I was pleasantly surprised with it. I wasn't sure about how I feel about it at first. I'm not a big fan of the music he has over there, but I do like what he did with this one. And I will say, this is one I will go back and listen to just because it is him and his work he does in Avenged Sevenfold made me lean into this album and want to listen to it. So let's hop over to the other screen here and we can talk about it. So let me pull this up at stage. All right, so here we go. Here's what we're talking about. This is the album Dark Horse. Um, First, I'm gonna go over reviewing the album cover itself, and then I will go and reviewing these songs here like normal, and then I will tell you what my favorite songs are off of this album, and give my overall rating at the end. So let's start by like the album. Let's start with the album cover here. He did a really awesome job with his album cover. It's just a simple picture of him when he was younger, dressed like a cowboy. That's what's great about this. It's just basically something from his childhood days. Pretty simple. A lot of people probably really like it. I know I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool that he did that. Um and he really projected what he was going with the in the album with this image actually. That was what was really cool about it. Um so yeah, I give the album cover a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect album cover for what he's doing with this project. Okay. So now on to all the songs here. So, out of all the songs, what you're getting out of this is exactly what the album cover, image pretty much projects. He is pretty much, I want to say, he's going with the country western sound, which is what he did with this entire album. And I will say, I don't listen to country very much, but what he did with this album, I like it. He talks a lot about life, and that's something that for me and everybody we should be able to relate to easily because he's talking about stuff we experience like losses, experiencing the joys of life, how like stuff like that. So if you're not enjoying your life and you're not having up and downs, then you're not going to understand what this is about, and you're going to you're probably not going to be a big fan of it. But I will say a lot of everybody I know, they have up and downs in life. So I would think at that point, if you're not experiencing those things, you're either dead and in your grave, or you're just not aware you're experiencing them. All right, so let's get into the songs I like here. So the songs I like, there are three particular ones, and one out of the two singles that I really like. So let's go over those. My 3 favorite songs outside of the singles are "Unlikely Cowboy," "Before I Go," and "Long Highway." I like this what they're about, I like what the meaning of them are, and I do again, they're just really good sounding songs to me. He basically I wanna say "Long Highway" is probably my favorite out of them because it is what the song is about. Um Basically, he talks about how God's watching over him and stuff like that. So I do like that and do appreciated that he's bringing God into the mix and he is doing what they originally set out to do. Um, and Unlikely Cowboy just describes some life stories out of his life that happened and what he was going through. And Before I Go, another one, so it talks about life things and stuff he's been through. I'm sure all three of those songs are about stuff he's been through. Um, and Dark Horse was is one of my favorite songs out of the main songs. I sort of wish, though, I will say this, I sort of wish he made more songs like that because that metally blues country sound just sounds freaking amazing to me. and it's something I really, really like. Out of all the songs, I will say that one, and Long Highway are my 2 ultimate favorites from the selections I picked. So, that's that. Alright. So, and I think what's gonna top all this off is, again, I don't know if I said this already, but I just don't normally listen to country, and this was kind of a surprise when he did all this. It was like what is he doing? He talked about he was doing a side project, and I didn't even know what he was doing. But the people behind the scenes, of course, they know. But it's one of those things that's like, it's awesome he did this, and he did not fail at impressing anybody with this. I'm sure all the people who listen to country are even hopping into this one and being like, "Wow, this is actually really good." So, let me hop over to the big screen, and I'll do my full rating number system. So now, with that said, what do I rate this overall? I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 5. An 8.5 out of 10. It's because it is country, and country is not my favorite genre of music, but I will say this is one I'm going to go back to every once in a while just because I was enjoyable. He knew what he was doing, and you know, Rel talking about your life in music is very, very relatable for everybody, so, but yeah, that about sums up everything about how I felt. Again, this is worth a listen to if you haven't yet. Even if you're a metal fan, I do suggest listening to this because this might be one you will like because it is Zacky Vengeance from Avenged Sevenfold. So, with that said, yeah, that's it. So I want to explain a little bit before I go what's going on here with me. So I haven't been online as much because I have a lot of stuff going on outside of here. There's a video I put up earlier explaining some of the stuff going on. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm not feeling, some days I don't feel up to par. I'm really, really fighting to stay afloat on the channels here or stay relevant on the channels here. It's not as often. I don't get to do it as often because a lot of people have at my job, they have like, told my boss what I'm doing, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. And that's one of the problems that we have with YouTube. If you have a job, you're gonna run a conflict working at jobs. Unfortunately, that's when YouTube is a hobby for me, and everybody knows that. But there's still people who don't like that I'm doing this as a hobby. Um, I'm also making music on the other channel. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, that's something as I do suggest. I've uploaded a few shorts here of what I'm doing, but I'm really getting ready to go into the um. I went from playing this acoustic. Now I'm getting ready to get finish getting my electric guitar set up, and you'll be hearing stuff from that soon. So, but yeah, that about sums up what I'm going through. Excuse me. So, I will be back in the future with more stuff. More album reviews are coming. I want to try to at least try to find one to review during the week, but it's just kind of a difficult area for me right now. I'm gonna be doing all the short reviews for the album itself here, Dark Horse. Um, and I'm looking forward to albums coming out like Black Veil Brides has one coming out. Escape the Fate has one coming up really soon, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Um, yeah, just stay tuned, stick around, and you'll see more to come. All right, take it easy, and God bless, and have a wonderful day. And also, happy early Easter if you're celebrating Easter this year. I know I am as a Christian. So, yes, take it easy, and God bless, and have a wonderful Easter.